physical activity and getting active if you aren't already. With a diabetes diagnosis, there can be a lot of fear around hypoglycemia and putting you or your child in an unfamiliar physical activity, because you don't know how they're going to handle it, or they're fragile and they need to be kind of bubble wrapped. Physical activity is so incredibly important for your health as a diabetic, from developing lean muscle mass to improving your metabolism and your body's ability to use energy, decreasing fat mass, and fighting against insulin resistance. There's a lot. There's too much good to go over from a physical activity standpoint. Lift weights, jump around, run outside, make everything outside if you possibly can, right? So don't let the fear of going low, right, keep you from getting and trying new physical activities out, right? Lean in with curiosity, like lean into learning what it is that your body can do and how far it can go before you start to have to read the messages that your body is sending back to you. Whether that be, oh, I feel low and I'm getting shaky, or I really don't feel well. I think my blood sugar is high. I think I need to address that before I continue whatever activity it's on. Do not discourage people or yourself from trying many different things. It doesn't matter how you move, it matters that you move. Okay, so don't let diabetes make you feel fragile or like you can't do something. And then tying back into food, a lot of the times that fear of hypoglycemia translates into a hyperfixation on always having food and kind of tying physical activity with eating, right? So a lot of it comes from fear, right? Because a lot of the times in the endocrinologist's office, hypoglycemia or low blood sugars is treated like the worst thing in the world. And if your blood sugar goes low, you're going to die. And it is something that you need to be mindful of. But again, as long as you are prepared and you have a plan of action, live your life. Like, keep going. Do different things. So don't let the habitual fear-driven snacking alter what you think you can do, because it can kind of wreck your relationship with food. And there are plenty of brands of granola bars that I will never eat again because I'm just so sick of them. And it got to a point where you're not eating food, you're not even tasting it. It's just like, oh, I got done with practice. And then you throw it back and it disappears before you know what happens to it. And it takes the focus away from the relationship with your body and what your body needs. So that's a really, really important facet of having diabetes, is listening to what your body needs and being able to supply it in the moment. If you are on the perpetual loop of, oh, well, I moved, I better eat something. Oh, I moved, I better eat. You're kind of destroying that and kind of like drowning it out with just kind of arbitrary fear-driven habits, right? And then from a rest standpoint, if your digestive system is always working, it's never resting. That's never good, right? Especially when we know the digestive system has such a critical role in diabetic health, as and possibly the development of diabetes in the first place. That being said, this is not me saying that, oh yeah, don't forget about food. You don't need to worry about lows. No, you always need to have either food directly on your person, or you need to have the ability to access it where you are, and you need to have a plan of action, someone you can rely on to get you that food in the event of an emergency. Okay, fair enough.